Mark chapter 9 verses 14 to 18. And when he came to the disciples, he saw a great multitude around them, and scribes disputing with them. Immediately when they saw him, all the people were greatly amazed, and running to him greeted him. And he asked the scribes, "What are you discussing with them?" Then one of the crowd answered and said, "Teacher, I brought you my son, who has a mute spirit. And wherever it seizes him, it draws him down. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. So I spoke to your disciples that they should cast it out, but they could not." Jesus and 3 disciples spent the night away from the other 9. I imagine that neither group could sleep. While it was the troubled night for the 9, the 3 were kept awake by their excitement. The 3 had been chosen, the 9 had been left behind. How do you think they spent the night? How would you feel about being left behind? Even though it was not the first time this happened, it was still hard for them to cope with it. Bitterness and jealousy plagued them all through the night. When morning came, they realized that their master and 3 favorites had not yet returned. Instead, a crowd was approaching villagers, the demon-possessed boy accompanied by scribes. The boy's father begged the disciples to cast the demons out of his son. The authority to cast out demons had been given to them when they were sent out for field training. The disciples commanded the devil to come out of the boy, but it just laughed at them. Again and again they tried, but with no success. It was a mortifying experience. Their self-esteem had already hit rock bottom the previous night. This incident served to trample it even further underfoot. The scribes seized the opportunity to accuse them and their master of being frauds. Having just failed to heal the boy, the disciples were unable to refute them. Right at that moment, Jesus came back and intervened in their conversation. How do you think the left-behind disciples felt? They had mixed feelings, I'm sure. No doubt they were embarrassed to reveal their failure. There couldn't have been a worse time for them to meet their returning Lord. Yet, at the same time, they would have been glad to see him because they knew the Lord was able to deal with this situation. As they expected, Jesus immediately took charge and stood up for his humiliated disciples. How would I have reacted if I had been one of the 9? How would I feel if Jesus met me at the point of my greatest failure? Though we should not invite failure into our lives, when it inevitably comes our way, it is a wonderful opportunity to feel our need of our Lord. Instead of focusing on our own fallings, we can lift our eyes and look to Jesus as he comes in to take charge. When life hands you failure after failure, or shame after shame, don't be discouraged. Let Jesus take charge of your life. May God bless you and intervene in your life today.